The Gray Jedi are a group of Force users who chose to distance themselves from the Jedi Order due to their conflicting beliefs in how the Force should be used. In order for us to understand why they chose to do this, we first have to understand the Force and those who harness its power. In the Star Wars universe, when we think of the Force, we think of the Jedi and the Sith, the light and the dark side. There are two distinct sides who have conflicting views on how the Force should be used. The Jedi Order is structured much like a religion, with clear beliefs and rules on how the Force should be used that are strictly adhered to. They focus on self-discipline, selflessness, and inner peace as their path to the Force, and they consider themselves to be the guardians of peace within the galaxy. On the other side, of course, you have the Sith. A common misconception of the Sith that the movies do not help to dispel is that the Sith are inherently evil. There is no denying that the Sith crave power, but where the Jedi consider emotions to be a path down the dark side, the Sith embrace their emotion. These emotions can be anger and hatred, but they can also be joy or love. One of the main reasons the Sith are depicted as becoming evil is because they are blinded or corrupted by their passion and emotions. The Grey Jedi, as their name may suggest, do not see the Force in the black and white terms that the Jedi and the Sith do. The Grey Jedi see the Force as a spectrum of power, with light and dark philosophies on either side. They stand firmly in the middle, believing that the only true way to master the Force is with a balance of light and dark. A Jedi who disagreed with the Council may have been seen as a Grey Jedi, and despite this never being mentioned in the canon universe, there are those who consider Qui-Gon Jinn to be a Grey Jedi because of his many disagreements with the Jedi Council. We do see Obi-Wan mention that if his master would just follow the code, then he would already be on the Council, alluding to the possibility that Jinn did not follow the Jedi Code as closely as others. It was Jinn's independence from the Council, as well as his former master Dooku joining the dark side, that made them wary of Jinn, possibly suspecting him of being a Grey Jedi. One could argue that a line of Grey Jedi were indirectly created through the teachings of Qui-Gon Jinn. Even after his death, the series of Padawans that followed in his footsteps, including Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin and Luke Skywalker, all had severe disagreements with the Jedi Code, and were often seen as maverick Jedis, potentially even Grey Jedis. If we take a look at Ahsoka Tano, from Star Wars Rebels and the Clone Wars, she does fit into this line of potential Grey Jedi left behind by Qui-Gon Jinn. She was Padawan to Anakin Skywalker for a short period, and displayed behaviour that we've come to expect from a Grey Jedi, routinely disobeying the orders of the Council. Much like her master at the time, she was very aggressive and eager for battle, willing to use means that the Jedi Council would not approve of to get what she wanted. In this case, the term Grey Jedi does not necessarily refer to a Jedi who embraces the dark side, but one who doesn't fully comply with the teachings of the Jedi Order, such as not being able to have a family, or study and learn the dark side of the Force. One of the most well-known examples of a Grey Jedi in the extended universe was Lee Bindle. Bindle was inducted into the Jedi Order and trained in the ways of the Force at the Coruscant Jedi Temple. As a Padawan, Bindle was considered to be reckless and often ignored the word of the High Council when he felt they were wrong. He eventually married a Force-sensitive woman named Nyama, although marriage was frowned upon by the Jedi Council. Bindle decided that he would train her himself despite the Council being against the idea, and the fact that he was still a Padawan. In this case, the Jedi Council's advice would appear to be correct, as Bindle's wife would turn to the dark side during the war with Exar Kun. She attempted to turn Bindle, but he rejected her proposal, which led to a lightsaber duel between the two. Despite Bindle being victorious, he could not kill his wife, and he let her go. His wife would go on to kill many Jedi before she was eventually struck down in battle. After these events, the Jedi Council did not punish Bindle. They had hoped he'd learned his lesson, even offering to make him a Jedi Knight. At this point in time, Bindle had lost all faith in the Council, and declined their offer, going into exile and living as a hermit on Kashyyyk, where he would fight alongside the Wookiees and help them protect their land against poachers. Bindle would eventually come across one of the most notorious Jedi in the extended universe, Revan. He chose to accompany Revan and aid him in his victory over Darth Malak, Bindle was heralded for his actions, but it wasn't long after that he faded from the public eye and disappeared forever. The Grey Order believed in a balance of all things, not just the Force alone. Unlike the Jedi and Sith, they chose to watch over galactic affairs without intervening unless they deemed it truly necessary. They believed the Force did have two sides, but neither was inherently good or evil. It was the intention of the user that would determine if the action was good or bad. The Grey Jedi were capable of using dark side powers without falling victim to its corruption, a feat that the Jedi believed to be impossible. They even taught that the Grey Jedi were unaware of their own corruption. The definition of a Grey Jedi may confuse some, as over the years it has changed. It could refer to a Jedi who chooses not to associate themselves with the Jedi Order or the Sith. In some cases it refers to someone who disagrees with some of the teachings of the Jedi Order, and in others it refers to those who have left the Order completely. The Star Wars movie universe has always been black or white, with a clear struggle between good and evil, but could we be seeing a shade of grey in The Last Jedi? What about you guys? Do you like the Grey Jedi? Do you even think they should exist in the universe? I look forward to hearing from you in the comments below. As always, I've been your host, Mythology and Fiction Explained.